Just like having relevant and accurate information is necessary to make sound hiring and lending decisions, being engaged in our community is important. DataFax is proud to support the positives and be a sponsor of the Spark.
Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance is honored to serve the Memphis community for over 60 years. We've always focused on supporting our community and believe in promoting the positives, encouraging engagement, and leading by example. Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance is proud to be a presenting sponsor of the Spark.
Additional funding for the Spark is provided by Christian Brothers University, Mueller Industries, United Way of the Mid-South, MyTown Movers, MyTown Roofing, MyTown Miracles, and by Serves.
This month on The Spark, our theme is Feeding Success. We'll learn more about an organization applying investment principles, quantitative and qualitative analysis to disrupt our city's persistent cycle of poverty. A nonprofit that's serving Latino youth and children of all ages, empowering them through outreach, missions, recreational and educational programs, and one of the world's largest food retailers helping local nonprofits and embracing the goal of zero hunger, zero waste. We'll also share a special moment from our Spark Awards 2017. Ever been excited by a new idea? Inspired by watching someone lead by example? When we talk about creating change, we start by sharing the stories of everyday heroes making a difference in their own way so we can learn and do the same. This truth is the power behind this show, which is focused on business and community leaders who are leading by example to give back, fuel change, and create new opportunities for the Mid-South. I'm Jeremy Park, and this is The Spark. They're an organization applying investment principles to disrupt our city's cycle of poverty. I'm here with the CEO of Slingshot Memphis, Justin Miller. And Slingshot Memphis, when you look at the work you're doing, it's applying investment principles, qualitative, quantitative, making a big difference. But it starts with benchmarking and another organization in New York that's very popular. Give us a little bit of history for Slingshot Memphis.
Yeah, so Robin Hood Foundation in New York City is currently New York's largest poverty-fighting organization. They've been around for about 30 years, and what they do is they've decided, hey, we have limited resources and we have huge yawning social ills like poverty in New York. How can we be the best stewards of those resources possible to make the biggest effect? Coincidentally, Robin Hood was founded, among others, by Paul Tudor Jones, very famous investor and native Memphian. And so in Memphis, we are the most charitable city in the country per capita, and we're also the most impoverished in almost every major category for major cities in the country. And so if we're so generous with our time, our gifts, our talents, certainly our resources, and if we are so impoverished, how might we get way better at what we do? And so we've emulated Robin Hood's model here in Memphis in the last 14 months.
And we've created our own version, if you will. And so describe, when you look at qualitative, quantitative data, what does that mean? How are you using it to make the best decisions? I mean, describe that process.
Yeah, so one of the things that we do here at Slingshot is we, at no cost to several nonprofit organizations. Currently, we're working with 10 nonprofit organizations, all working really hard to create a better quality of life for our under-resourced neighbors. It could be a women's and children's shelter, it could be a job training program, it could be some organization that works in some of our more under-resourced schools. And to date, most of the nonprofit sector in Memphis, and this is no fault of their own, they don't have the capacity, the time, the training, the resources to measure outcomes or to estimate the impact that they're having in the lives of the people they serve. Often funders ask for outputs. How many people did you serve? How many meals did you serve? How many people came through your door? And although that can be important, it falls short of what we really need to know as it relates to what are those things, those people, those programs that have the highest impact per dollar of cost in the fight against poverty. And so that's what we do at Slingshot. We have a team of experts that do that on the behalf of our partners.
I think it's also important to know that when you're out there helping the nonprofits and raising money, your costs are covered by some very charitable organizations on your own. So 100% of the money that you raise goes to help the nonprofits, but you're also the first to say, no, we want you to have a direct relationship with these nonprofits and fund them as well. Our job is to bring new donor dollars to the table that wouldn't have been there before.
That's right. So a couple of things, thank you for bringing that up, that are unique about Slingshot. First and foremost, thanks to our board of directors and several seed funders, all of whom are listed on our website. they have agreed to cover all of our operating expenses. And so that when we are doing a fundraiser or when we are providing free experts into these organizations to measure things, to help them make better decisions, all of those costs are covered. So then when we go into the community and we say, hey, be a part of this work, 100% of every dollar invested in our impact fund is given directly to these organizations that are making a difference. Also, one thing that's different is that we are not interested in an endowment or a rainy day fund. We're looking to give this money away in the most expeditious and strategic means possible. When we're investing in retirement, we know that there's a compounding interest. We believe at Slingshot that is even more pronounced when you're investing in humanity. And so we give money away quick, we don't wait. You also bring up a great point. Slingshot ultimately wants to help these organizations serve more people more effectively. And part of doing that is for us to raise money in the community, mobilizing every level of donors from $1 to 30 million. And I could say more about that, and to get that into their hands to continue doing what they do. But we are very, very clear that we don't want people to give all of their money in the fight against poverty through Slingshot. We want people to invest in these organizations directly. We're only a small part of their budget. And so you can, on our website, you can see the list of our 10 different organizations that we're currently serving.
Well, talk about how we can help, because obviously financial contributions, direct connect, learning just about more of what you do and the resources available, data. How do we help?
Yeah, the first thing is we are not a silver bullet. There isn't one, and so I can't promise to adopt every suggestion made, but we need feedback. We welcome feedback. We want to get better at what we do to serve our under-resourced neighbors in the most impactful way possible. So that's one thing. The other thing is as people give, whether it's a faith-based organization, a business, a family, an individual, or a business, really be thoughtful, less of outputs but impact. What if not that organization? Asking a different set of questions to figure out how can we, in our limited resources, really have a better understanding of the investments we're making in our under-resourced neighbors. But yes, we welcome investments. We're looking for partners. Last year, our goal was to give away $500,000, and we did that. So we raised $500,000 within 12 months, and we gave it all away to 4 organizations that we started with. Now we're working with 10 organizations, and our goal is to raise and allocate $1 million before year end. And so we're looking for investments. So we're looking for partners in this world for donations. We currently have a 12-year-old girl who recently joined us, and she invested in our work. We have a law student in Knoxville who sends us $10 every month. And then we have other donors who have invested large sums of money. And so we welcome all partnerships.
So what's the website? How do we get in touch?
Yeah, please. Slingshotmemphis.org is our website. And there's a lot of content on there, but I think it will give the viewers a better understanding of our mission and our data-driven approach to fight poverty.
Well, Justin, thanks for all you do. Appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
They're a nonprofit serving Latino youth and children of all ages here in the Mid-South. I'm here with the Executive Director of Las Americas, Greg Diaz. Las Americas starts with your personal story of coming to America and enrolling in school. So let's start there. Give us a little bit of your history, and then we'll tie that to Las Americas.
I'm the youngest kid of 10 children. My oldest brother started immigrating to America, to Houston, Texas. My oldest brother gets sick with cancer. My mother would travel back and forth. And as he was not doing well, my mother calls Mexico City and says, you guys are coming down to Houston to visit me for a week. We arrived on a Friday. On Sunday, my mother breaks the news that we will not be going back to her country because she couldn't have her children separated. On Wednesday, she puts me into the school system, and it was the most frightening time in my life. Within 4 days, I had changed cultures, language, countries, had left friends and families back home. And by Friday, I was already in trouble because I couldn't speak the language and I couldn't do my work. It was then, at 12 years old, that I promised God, if I ever was given an opportunity to do for other, particularly immigrant children in the city, what it was not being done for me, I would. Fast forward years later, got a full scholarship to go to University of Houston playing baseball. But then they called and said, well, we need your documentation. I had become an undocumented person. Ended up going back to my country to go to seminary and be a pastor. Then came back to America, and that's what I became. After planting my second church, God reminded me of that promise that I made in 1988. So we opened the doors of our church just to serve the Latino community around our church, to help those kids with homework, tutoring, whatever they needed in order for them to exceed in school. Fast forward 10 years, we serve 600 students a day. We have 2 different sites, and they come from 68 different schools here in the Mid-South.
Well, I think it's a phenomenal story of service, but it's also too of seeing and knowing firsthand what it's like, and saying, you know what, just like you said, I don't want others to have to go through what I went through. And that transition was so difficult, and that's exactly what you're doing, is you're making it so much easier for these children and families to transition, but you're providing the support, the love, the nourishment, all the above, and the opportunities to succeed. And so talk about the actual programs, because there's a lot going on, including soccer and food and festivals and all sorts of good stuff.
We have about 10 different programs. I will name just the most important ones. We have an after-school program. Parents pick up their children from school and they bring them to one of our 2 sites and they drop them off. Our staff, they do all the homework with them, translate whatever notes to the parents, helps them with any projects, and whatever extra curriculum and activities the schools have, we want to make sure that the kids are able to assimilate to the school system and to the American culture. We have an ESL program for those kids that continue to come to America, to speed them up and so they can learn and read at the grade level. We have recreations for them. We have 3 days a week. Then we have a soccer league that runs about 240 kids that honestly just started with, let's make a team. We opened up sign-ups, and when I got to the office, they said, well, you got about 180 plus kids, what are you going to do? So then that's when I told them, well, then let's just make a league. And this is the 3rd year we run it. We're big on camps, BVSs. You probably heard of Kids Across America. The CEO of Kids Across America, somebody lied to him because he wanted to do the first one for Latinos, and somebody told him anybody can make it happen. It would be Las Americas in Memphis. So he came down. Long story short, we're sending 200 students to Branson, Missouri for this year, first ever camp in Espanol at Kids Across America. We have 9 different camps during the summer. Our staff goes into the schools during the day, and they come alongside the teachers to help them in the titanic work that they have. Then they leave the school before the kids get out. They go to their centers and wait for the kids to arrive there. So we have boys groups, girls groups, character building groups. We have a reading program, after school program, recreational program.
It's a lot of good going on. That's the point. I mean, that's what I love. And so with that, I mean, obviously you have a lot going on. That means there's a lot of opportunities to help.
Yes.
And so share how we as the public can help you make a difference, help you make an impact.
Just come and you can volunteer in any of the areas, in the after school, tutoring, homework help, soccer coaching, recreation, kickball, boys, girls. Just tell them about character principles and whatnot. Plenty of opportunities for everybody to get involved. And Jeremy, I'm very proud to say this. Probably 80% of our volunteers are high school students. I am big about using the youth in helping the younger ones. Probably it's because how I was raised. I'm the youngest of 10 children, raised by a single mother. My mother still was able to become an entrepreneur and open a chain of 8 restaurants. She had a fantastic system inside our home of how we took care of each other as a family. So I implement that as much as we can, having youth from all over the city coming and taking care of the younger ones, and it's worked great.
So tell us where we can learn more, the website, phone number, where do you direct us?
If you go to la8memphis.org, my email is listed there. Just drop an email and we'll have coffee.
And that's how the magic all starts. So Greg, thanks for all you do. Greatly appreciate it, and appreciate you coming on the show.
Jeremy, it's always a pleasure being with you, honestly. Thank you.
The Spark Awards annually recognize and celebrate individuals and organizations that have made outstanding contributions to the community. This year's recipient of the Individual Youth Award is Timmy Beckton of Douglas High School.
I'm a junior at Douglas High School. I'm part of a program called Let's Innovate Through Education. It's a program that gives students 6 months to launch their own nonprofit idea. And I actually run my own program called Grow Smart, which educates students about food deserts and how to use compost in community gardens.
What made you notice that food deserts were an issue?
Well, actually, when I first joined Light Memphis, we were tasked with solving a community problem. And I thought about what bigger problem than food. And I decided that one of the best ways to tackle food would be to actually build a community garden and educate people in these communities about how to grow healthy food.
And so you yourself are volunteering every week in a community garden, helping to bring this to life. Talk about what that means in terms of serving and helping others understand not only where their food comes from, but to be able to grow it to help.
Well, it really helps because it's very transparent, it's very cheap. It gives people in the community a good way to learn and a good way to get access to food at a cheaper cost rather than going to a grocery store.
So explain Grow Smart in terms of what all you do.
Well, Grow Smart is a program that seeks to educate people in local communities about healthy food by first converting food waste into compost, giving this compost to a local community garden, and using this compost and educating kids about it, and also teaching kids about how to grow healthy food. And eventually people from the community can eat from the community garden, so to get the benefit from student education.
Talk about how, like, going, because you're working with restaurants, and obviously to be able to convince them to give you the food and to be able to convert that to compost, kind of like fertilizer. Explain that whole scenario.
I actually get food waste from literally anywhere that I can get it from cafeterias, restaurants, anywhere. Whenever I ask, they're usually willing to give it to me. I even take food scraps from my kitchen and convert it into compost and put it inside of a pile.
How are you doing all this, especially as a school student?
Yeah, I'm actually working at one community garden, and it's right across the street from my school. And I just walked up to them, asked them what would they think of my program. They really liked it. I get students to come from the school and volunteer, and they really enjoy it.
So how many other volunteers, how many students are you working with, adults? Give us an idea of scope.
I'm working with about 20 now. They come to the garden usually every Tuesday to help in the community. And many people from the community also come and pick from the garden whenever they feel like it.
So what does it mean for you to be in high school and to see that you can have an immediate impact right now, regardless of title, age, anything? What does that mean to you?
It makes me feel very happy, and it makes me look forward to the future to know that me, as a high school student, that I'm already making a very important impact in my society. I hope more people understand that they can make a difference in their community today. You don't have to be a very successful businessman or anything like that. You can start right now and help as many people as you feel like you can.
And talk about your support network, because I've got to believe that your parents, friends, school, I've got to believe there's a good support staff that's helping you either guide or mentor or even serve with you.
Yes, well, first my parents, they really helped me with the compost process. They taught me everything about it. There's people at the community garden who teach me about compost even more and how to actually grow plants and fruits and vegetables. They also assist me with teaching the students. And also, Let's Innovate Through Education actually showed me how to launch my own nonprofit.
They're one of the world's largest retailers, helping nonprofits and now embarking on Zero Hunger, Zero Waste. I'm here with the Community Affairs Manager for Kroger Delta Division, Teresa Dickerson. And let's start, one of the world's largest retailers, Kroger, but also obviously a very local presence. So give us some stats nationally and locally for Kroger.
Well, nationally we have many banners throughout the country. You have Ralph's and Smith's and Fry's and of course Kroger. Locally, we have, here in Memphis, we have over 4,000 associates, but we also have 101 stores, and now that's not just in Memphis, that is throughout our Delta Division, and that includes West Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi. We have a couple of stores in Kentucky and one store in Poplar Bluff, Missouri.
Oh, wow.
That is Delta Division.
That's a good spread. So talk about the stores overall in terms of, obviously it's all of our groceries, so it's the milk and we shop there, the meats and the breads and everything else, but give us an idea of just, when you look at what you carry, the products, give us an idea of just kind of, how you pick the best products and what you look for and all that good stuff.
Well, we understand families trust us to feed them and feed their children Mothers shop with us when they, get off work, when they're off work, and they want to provide the best possible product for their family, right? We never want to lose our spot at the dinner table, so we do take this very seriously when selecting products for our stores. We only try to provide the very best products, especially our produce. We actually work with a number of local farmers. Discover Local is our program for our farmers.
The other thing is you have local companies as well. So I mean, I can think from coffee standpoint and chips and even like pimento cheese spreads.
Right.
You support local businesses as well.
We do. We really pride ourselves in supporting those businesses who are local and small businesses. I mean, we have to make that commitment to our local businesses, and we're definitely proud of that. Tom's Tiny Kitchen, they are on our shelves. A few others that if you walk into our stores, you will know those are local products, and you'll see they are front and center in our stores and in our aisles.
Talk about community rewards. I know that's another easy way to give back, but it's very simple. You swipe your card and next thing you know, you're helping nonprofits.
Exactly. Kroger Plus card is so important to our business in the community as well as in the stores and saving money for our customers. But use your Kroger Plus card. Sign up for community rewards. We have $1.5 million available throughout Delta Division for nonprofits through community rewards. And we support schools, churches, in any nonprofit. We have a number of athletic teams who sign up, and parents support just by shopping at Kroger. A percentage of those dollars will go to support that nonprofit. We've been doing this for a number of years now, and our customers really enjoy it. It's once a quarter, the nonprofits will receive a check from Kroger.
So the big one, Zero Hunger, Zero Waste. This
Yes.
is a huge initiative. There's $10 million innovation fund. There's all these details, but I mean, I think it kind of speaks for itself a little bit, but describe Zero Hunger, Zero Waste.
Zero Hunger, Zero Waste is a new umbrella community campaign for us. And basically, it includes our perishable donations program, which all of our stores support through making donations to our local food banks. And with Delta Division, we support 3 major food banks, and that's here, the Mid-South Food Bank, Mississippi Food Network in Jackson, Mississippi, and the Arkansas Food Bank in Little Rock. Through those 3 major food banks, which are Feeding America partners, our stores donate nutritious food to them. They send the food we donate to nonprofits to prepare for the people they serve. And the food we are donating is not just food that, is just horrible food. It's not. It's food that we may not be able to sell because of an expiration date. However, it's just the sell by date, meaning we can't sell it, but it's not bad food. It's
Right.
definitely
It's still good. It's still nutritious.
Yes. And we donate that food to our food banks, and they are able to distribute to those nonprofits. The food is nutritious, definitely with our produce. Again, we try to provide the freshest produce and food available. But if we have our produce out for a couple of days, we want to make sure that that produce is not going into the garbage. We donate that produce right away and make sure that it's getting on the table for our hungry neighbors. And that's really what Zero Hunger, Zero Waste is. We want to make sure our stores are zero waste stores, and zero waste meaning we're not throwing food into the landfills. Anytime we can donate food to our local food banks, to our nonprofits, that's our first option, because we have hungry neighbors. And I think when you think about the people who you may think is homeless, or definitely they're hungry, but there's also people who live paycheck to paycheck who may have to make a decision between paying their rent or buying food. And we want to support those individuals as well. And we're really thankful for our food banks and the work they do in the community, because through this program, we really can't be successful without them.
Well, where do you direct us in terms of website, social media? Where should we go?
Well, definitely Kroger.com, and it will provide everything you need to know about zero hunger, zero waste.
Well, Teresa, I greatly appreciate all you do here in the Mid-South and for coming on the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
As we saw in this month's episode, there are many organizations and individuals who are literally and figuratively feeding success in our community. They're working each and every day to power the good. Slingshot Memphis is bringing new donors to the table and applying investment principles to charitable giving that both maximizes impact and helps nonprofits make the most efficient and effective use of the resources. As a youth development center, Las Americas is helping Latino kids with their education and assimilation into American culture. They're providing ESL tutoring and teacher assistance in schools, after-school tutoring and homework help, character building and sports programs, and also food. Then companies like Kroger are using the resources in stores to give back. Kroger's Community Rewards makes fundraising for local nonprofits easy by shopping and swiping your Plus card. Kroger is now embarking on the Zero Hunger, Zero Waste initiative to help end hunger and eliminate waste by 2025. They're accelerating food donations to give 3 billion meals by 2025, joining forces with new partners and establishing a $10 million innovation fund to help as well. Thank you for watching The Spark. To learn more about each of the guests, to watch past episodes, and share your stories of others leading by example, visit WKNO.org and click on the link for The Spark. We look forward to seeing you next month, and we hope that you'll join with us in creating a spark for the Mid-South.
Just like having relevant and accurate information is necessary to make sound hiring and lending decisions, being engaged in our community is important. DataFax is proud to support the positives and be a sponsor of The Spark.
Lipscomb and Pitts Insurance is honored to serve the Memphis community for over 60 years. We've always focused on supporting our community and believe in promoting the positives, encouraging engagement, and leading by example. Lipscomb and Pitts Insurance is proud to be a presenting sponsor of The Spark.